And at 9:15 here on a Monday morning here on the WRCR-AM 1700 Morning Show with Will and Jeff, we welcome in the publisher and editor of Rockland County's Business Journal. It's Tina Traster. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning. How is everybody over there?
We are cold. Good and chilly.
It is a little chilly, isn't it?
It is.
It is. We don't have a heating system in here. It's very cold. It's
What?
good for the equipment, though.
Yeah. What? You don't have a heating system?
It's broken.
Well, we have a system, but it just doesn't feel like working all the time.
So do you see, like, smoke coming out of your mouths as you're speaking?
It's not that cold yet, but my arthritic hands are starting to bother me, so that's how I know it's too cold.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, let's use our minds rather than our hands for a moment.
Oh, good luck with that. For us, anyway.
All right. So I want you guys to participate in this.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh,
we
I'm
love
so
participating in things. Can we win fantabulous prizes?
Yes.
Woohoo!
It's down aisle C. So we're going to talk about shopping centers. We're going to talk about a mystery grocer, and we're going to talk about deja vu.
All right.
All right.
I feel like we've done this before, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the point, that we have been here before.
All right.
So let me kind of give you the broad spectrum of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Rockland Plaza. That's the shopping center on Route 59 in Nanuet. Most people know it as possibly where the Nanuet Diner is, or for the Barnes & Noble, other reasons.
Right.
Now,
opposite what is now called the Shops at Nanuet.
yes, opposite the Shops at Nanuet and opposite where Fairway used to be.
Now Stop and Shop.
And now Stop and Shop. So let's put a pin in that for a moment.
Right.
Okay.
Pinned.
Pin. So when a developer wants to do something in the town of Clarkstown, the Clarkstown has an unusual first screening or first step called the Technical Advisory Committee. A lot of towns or villages don't really have that. It may be a more informal process, but what it is the developer brings their idea to this TAC committee. The TAC committee gives them some feedback, and then, generally speaking, the developer will move on to the planning board or zoning board, wherever it is they need to go next to get their project underway. So, Brixmore Property Group, which owns Rockland Plaza, has come to the TAC committee with a proposal to tear down the Modell's building, which has been vacant for a while, although I've noticed over the weekend that there seems to be some pop-up furniture in there, but I don't think that they have a long-term tenant. The idea is to raise the Modell's building and I guess some other buildings and put up 3 new structures there. And then there's also a possibility of tearing down the Nanuet Diner. Now, the thing that was notable in their presentation is that they told the TAC committee that they have a prospective grocer slated to take 40,000 square feet in that center. They would not say which grocer, and we can certainly play which grocer do we think this might be. We can do that in a moment. But one issue that it does raise, and this is where we get into the deja vu portion of the conversation, is that there already is a very good market there called A Matter of Health. And it seems to me that it's a thriving market. And when we spoke to the owner of that market, he said that he'd heard that there were some plans in the works to change the layout, but nothing specifically about another grocer coming in, and that he believed that his own lease would certainly protect him from a competitor like, well, let's fill in the blank. Maybe it's Uncle Giuseppe's. Maybe it's a Whole Foods. Maybe it's some other,
I was thinking Trader Joe's.
Yeah, that's the wish list here in this county. That's
right.
What everybody wants the most. But they would not say which grocer. They also did not characterize that they had any sort of a signed lease per se. But they seemed to show a certain confidence that that is what they needed to Well, and here's the bigger context, that is what they needed to remake their shopping center. So Rockland Plaza, the strip mall, is not unlike any other shopping center, which has been struggling under the weight of the loss of big boxes, which was accelerated certainly in the pandemic. It is our belief that, for example, Barnes & Noble, we know that is struggling. The shops at Nanuet across the street are one we all have seen, what looks kind of ghostly across the street. And so they as much said that there have been a lot of changes in shopping centers. They pointed out to the TAC committee that many retailers have discontinued, right-sized, or are seeking what they call out parcels, so they don't want to be in these kind of like inline shopping centers. And they said that with Modell's going out, they need to make changes. They need to be more, quote, in tune, their words. So we already know that they had previously, and here's the deja vu portion of this, they recently, not that long ago, took down that little glass building that used to house Michael's Tuxedos, and they built that new structure for Chipotle and Shake Shack.
Right.
I mean, they clearly believe that food, be it fast food, be it a grocer, be it any kind of food, I think they see that as being the engine to bringing the shopping center back to a thriving situation.
The other part of that, though, is that those two major chains, Chipotle and Shake Shack, could have been construed as competitive to what existed at the time at that plaza, the Doghouse.
In fact, that was exactly the case.
Right.
So
there's more deja vu.
So that is the deja vu.
Right.
The deja vu is that, in 2020, the former Doghouse, they went head to head with Brixmor over an exclusivity clause in their lease that the restaurant said should have precluded Shake Shack from coming to the center. And in the end of the day, they settled with undisclosed terms. But guess what? The Doghouse is history. They left.
Yes.
I think that a matter of health is personally speaking, I know that it is a really, really good store, a really needed asset in the county. It's hard to imagine how they would manage the competition from something like a Whole Foods because it's the same thing. They can coexist with a Stop and Shop across the street because that's a very different niche and possibly a very different customer, or maybe a customer that goes to both places depending on what they're looking for. But a healthy Whole Foods kind of market, or even an Uncle Giuseppe's, I just don't know what that will do to a matter of health if this should evolve. Now,
it's also a little sad to hear about the potential demise of the diner that's over there. I've been going to that since I've been in high school. That diner. It was a common hangout for my friends and me and a lot of other people. It's just I'd hate to see that go.
Well, it is pretty iconic, and I'll tell you a little interesting thing there is that originally when they put this plan out, it was a hard, we're planning to raise the diner, but when they presented to this TAC committee, they left that open. We may or we may not demolish the diner. So I don't know, how this will evolve, but I do know that, I understand from all sides. I understand that Brixmor is under pressure to remake itself, as every shopping center is, or department store. I mean, we know that the pressure is on. Food seems to be the guarantee of some kind of success, think about it. If you have a shopping center with a Whole Foods, think about the prospective other tenants that you're likely to lure. It's a good step up, but there is this situation of a grocer currently there, and how much will their rights for an exclusive if they have this exclusive clause, will it hold? Will they fold? Oh, I'm rhyming. Okay, so
it's because of the cold.
Exactly.
Who knows what will be told?
Just don't put me on hold. So that's the story that.
So is there any kind of timing for any of this to happen, or is it all just speculation at this point? Really?
Well, it's interesting because one thing that they revealed in this meeting was that they had these plans in sight as early as when they were taking down the Michael's Tuxedos building and putting up Shake Shack and Chipotle. So I do think that this is part of a grand plan. I do think that they have to possibly come back to this TAC committee one more time before they're going to move on to the. I guess they would move on to the planning board. I think that they need some variances with. I'm not even sure that they actually do need variances. Come to think of it, I'm not positive yet. So either way, what's the time frame? I guess that is entirely up to Brixmor. I mean, could we see this, within the next 6 months, start to get underway? I wouldn't be surprised. We'll certainly be monitoring it, but yeah, it's an interesting. It kind of it's a story that has under its roof all of the aspects that are relevant right now to retail and development. I mean,
it also then makes me wonder what might take the place of the former Stop and Shop, which is adjacent to that Rockland Plaza, basically.
That's right. That is going to be a very, very difficult building unless it is, carved up. Could it become a warehouse? Could the post office relocate there? There's been some, gossip about that. I don't know. We know that Harbor Freight is finally taking the former food market on Route 59 in Central Nyack.
Okay.
That was empty for years and years. I mean, I don't think it's that easy. Just as the second floor of the Macy's building, remains vacant.
Right.
These very, very large spaces largely lend themselves to warehouse type of operations, and so there are logistics. What would be the logistics? Warehousing on the second floor of Macy's, probably difficult. Warehousing off Middletown Road in Nanuet, I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. But then again, with newer warehousing being built, I don't know that an old supermarket is really, going to have the right infrastructure for that. So it's all pretty interesting to watch these things evolve. They do affect how we live and what the county eventually looks like.
And if people want to read more about this, they can go to rcbizjournal.com, and you've got a number of emails, newsletters people can subscribe to as well, I'm sure.
That's right. Free daily newsletter every day at 7 a.m. All you have to do is get on rcbizjournal.com, put your email in, and you will know what's going on.
Excellent. Tina Traster of the Rockland County Business Journal, thank you so much for joining us, as always, on a Monday at 9:15.
All right. Talk to you next